Hi. Welcome to, welcome to the screencast where I talk about the syllabus with the goal of, whoops, hold up. I'm going to set this timer 10 minutes. That's my goal, okay? So stick with me, and I'm going to try to cover all of the important things in 10 minutes. Let's see. Course description. Well, welcome to R123, by the way. Course description: basic camera handling of both digital and 35mm single lens reflex cameras, including metering and exposure, film processing, printing, and darkroom procedures will be taught, kind of, as well as basic digital workflow, special emphasis on the elements of photographic composition and design, ethical issues, aesthetic vocabulary, and the study of how images communicate. So, you know what that means? It means this is an art class. And what I mean by that is this is not a camera class and this is not a Photoshop class. This is a class about ideas. Art, ultimately, whatever medium you're dealing with, is about questioning yourself and the world around you and the relationship between yourself and the world around you. Okay, so that's what we do in here. We will also cover how cameras work. We will also cover how Photoshop and little bits of darkroom stuff work. But I want it known up front, right? Like, stick it in your head right now that this is an art class. It's not just a camera class or a software class, because it will require more thought and analysis and context from you. So know that up front. Other thing, and by the way, I'm trying to do this fast. I've already almost used 2 full minutes, so I'm going to just speed through. But I want you to notice important things. That's what this is about. 5 credits. A lot of credits, okay? That's a lot of credits. And so that means you should expect this class to be time-consuming. You should expect this class to be one of your most significant classes, okay? There's a heavy workload, and I should also stress that it is a challenging time to do this class in the winter term because you have very limited amounts of daylight, and the weather doesn't always fit with whatever your big ideas might be. So know that up front. This is a class, especially in the winter, that is going to require you to think ahead, work ahead, schedule ahead. Let's see. Again, quick version of this. I recommend that you go through and read it all on your own slowly. Required supplies and materials: you need a computer, you need a camera, you need memory cards, card reader, a cable, lens, fluid, and tissue. Like, I like to use a little lens pen like this. This is something that you can buy for $10 to $15 online. I like this because it's cheap and easy to use. Lens, fluid, and tissue is cheaper, but harder to use. So, it's up to you. Now, when it says rain kit, tripod, cable release, and UV filter, those are all recommended. A rain kit simply means it's winter. You live in the Northwest. You should be prepared for weather. Okay. They do make fancy plastic sleeves. Do I have one? I don't have one on me right now. But you don't need to buy one of those. You can get by without buying one of those. You can use 1-gallon Ziploc bags to put a plastic bag over your camera and just rip a hole in the end so the lens can stick out. I do recommend that you have some plastic bags with you. Some hand towels are always useful. If possible, you may want a lens hood. That is the little plastic dome that sort of fits like an awning over the front of your camera. Those things are all useful, but it's not required. Okay, we'll go by with whatever you got. Let's see, and let me also stress, again, since I'm doing a sort of quick version here, hit me up. If you got questions, hit me up. Hit me up either via messages in the Canvas or email, or also in the discussion board that I haven't yet set up, but will set up, sort of ongoing Q&A board. Let's see, if you want to check a camera out, make sure to check out the other link that shows you, it's in the, let's see, where do I find it? Whoops, I'm going to do this wrong. Let's see. How to check out a camera from the school if you need one. Go there, and that walks you through the steps that you need to follow to check out a camera. Let's see. What else you need to note? Here's my instructor's note, basically saying what I just said about this being an art class and not just a Photoshop class. And about how it will require work. Let's take a moment here to point out the computer part of things. In this mostly asynchronous world, it can be challenging, okay, because you're going to have to install Photoshop on your computer, for example. Photoshop and Bridge, Adobe, both Adobe programs. You get them free. You have a subscription for them along with, you know, your course fee here, but you're going to have to deal with the installation. And sometimes students run into trouble with that part of things. Now, if you need help, don't hesitate to contact the Tech Hub at Clark. It's linked in the support pages, but also hit me up and I can put you there. But the key is, like, don't wait on something like that, because if you wait, you will fall behind, and then you will hit this sort of spiral of shame where you are behind and too far behind, and it's the complication that led you to be behind in the first place still isn't there, so then you got to deal with that and the assignment. It just builds up really quickly, and so don't hesitate. Hit things up front and be communicative up front, and we'll be great. Let's see, grading system, I'll let you read through that, but basically it comes down to 10 assignments that are 10% assignments. I say assignments, but really, like, one of them is the weekly quizzes, for example. There'll be a weekly quiz every week. One of them is a comprehensive exam, you know, that kind of stuff. Let's see, grading. I basically use this scale for grading. 10 out of 10 is great. 8.5 out of 10 is pretty good. 6 out of 10 is fair, and anything below that is kind of like a let's talk. Let's figure out what went wrong, because something went wrong there. Course policies. How much time we got? Okay. Let's talk about academic honesty and plagiarism, just because it recently came up. All the photos that you turn in for this photo class need to be shot from this point forward. They should be shot during the course of this class, okay? So that means I'm happy to look at old photos that you made last year, but don't turn them in for an assignment, okay? This is about learning moving forward. Late paper, assignment, attendance, extra credit, what that all comes down to, let's see. Late work, I will accept late work through the end. Any late assignment gets knocked down 10%, gets deducted 10%, but only 10%, and you can turn it in through the end of the term. The only exception to that is there's one assignment where you are writing and there are comments that are a portion of that, and the comments cannot come in late simply because that's a conversation that already happened. It's a very small numeric deduction though. Let's see, attendance. So this is an asynchronous class, but we will be meeting once each week. I want to jump back up. Do I have it here? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Once each week. So the way this is going to work in these particular COVID times is what you are watching, this class, is basically two classes that are sort of grouped together in one Canvas shell. There are 16 students between the two classes. So what we've done is more or less split the students into groups of 4, and every Tuesday from 10 to 11:50, I will meet a group of students, and then on Tuesday afternoon from 1 to 2:50, I meet another group of students every Tuesday, okay? Now, so that means that you're basically going to leapfrog, where every other Tuesday you will come in for a darkroom session, okay? That's how we're going to deal with the analog, the film portion of this class this term. This is exciting because this is the first time that we've done this since COVID, basically since March of 2020. Everything I've done has just been like this, and so we're coming back in a limited way, but it should be a really fun way. So in the intro, the start here screencast, I'll sort of go into a little more detail on that. Let's see, it looks like I'm already over my 10 minutes. Okay. What else do I need to say? Let's see. Computing, blah, 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 blah. Course policies, course disclaimer, accommodations. You know what? I do want to take a minute and stress. If you need help with the writing portion of things, there are basically 20% of the coursework is writing in a couple different ways. One, you are writing about photographs. One other is sort of a little research paper on a particular photographer. If writing is really challenging for you, then let me know. I will accept those assignments in alternative forms, okay? I think that there are a lot of students out there who do not even know that they might have dyslexia, for example. And there's just a wide range of neurodiversity, and we do not do well as a larger sort of structure, academia, dealing with that. And so I'm pretty flexible in the way that things can come in, but I also encourage any student who feels like you might need accommodations, ask for them. You know, and not necessarily because you're going to need it in this class. Like, I'm pretty flexible on things, but I feel like the more students who are statistics, the more students who request those services, that's how money and attention get spent. And I think that it's in everyone's best interest to push the appropriate offices. So if you feel like that's applicable to you, contact disability support, ask for accommodations, and and hit me up. Let me know, and I'll help in whatever way I can. Let's see. Oh, those are like the bullet points, right? I mean, we're at 12.5 minutes. I'll do a separate screencast here in a minute, where I sort of walk you through the first week and some other parts of the class that you need to know about. I try to keep these videos pretty short because you need them that way. COVID has taught me that. I need to keep things down to in the 10 to 15 minute range, otherwise people just skip through it. So I'm going to shut up for now. The schedule's here at the end. The schedule is as accurate as I can make it. At this point, it will always change. Weather changes things. I don't know. There's a million reasons why it can change. But for now, it is the schedule that we will go with, and we will stick to it as much as we can. The other thing I just want to stress, and I've kind of said it, is just don't hesitate to ask, to tell, to reach out, to be communicative, because that is the key right now. It is easy to hide in asynchronous Zoom school. It is easy to be invisible, and it's also easy to fall behind and slink away. And I don't want that. I want to help you all get through this class and have a lot of fun. So talk to me. Okay, I'm going to shut up right there and record that other thing. This feels woefully incomplete and inadequate, but whatever. There we go. Welcome to Zoom school. Have fun. Bye.